Greetings and welcome back to Room 303 in our chats with Emily as we are calling our readings through the poetry of Emily Dickinson. We are using the Johnson edition. We turn now to poem 568. We learned the whole of love. Now, in many ways, we're back to poem 296. 1 year ago, Jots, what? God, spell the word, I can't. Was it grace? Not that. Was it glory? That will do. Spell slower. Glory. Such anniversary shall be sometimes, not often, in eternity, when farther parted than the common woe. Look, feed upon each other's faces, so in doubtful meal, if it be possible, their banquet's true. I tasted careless then, I did not know the wine came once a world. Did you? Oh, had you told me so, this thirst were with blister easier now. You said it hurt you most. Mine was an acorn's breast, and could not know how fondness grew in shaggier vest. Perhaps I couldn't, but had you looked in, a giant eye to eye with you had been, no acorn then. So 12 months ago we breathed and dropped the air. Which bore it best? Was this the patientest? Because it was a child, you know, and could not value air. If to be elder mean most pain, I'm old enough today, I'm certain that. As old as thee, how soon? One birthday more or 10, let me choose. Sir, none. Now, so much of this poem is going to rest on who the we is. This is another poem about learning, and more especially about learning to love. Some of you are going to love the word picture here of learning to love is like learning to read. Now think about it. We're reading poems because we know how to read. But how did you learn to read? I mean, you couldn't do it at birth, and so obviously you had to learn how to do it. How did you learn to read? What were the methods or the mechanisms whereby you came to be a reader? Question, is that the same thing as learning to love? For example, do you have to go through stages to be able to learn this thing called love? Or is it rather something you are somehow born with, like the color of your eyes, to know how to love? Now, again, the we of this poem is unclear. Is it Sue, her pal, who then went on to marry her bro, who then didn't become her pal for some time? Is it maybe Wadsworth, who we've mentioned already? And our assumptions here are that you've been following our stuff at learnstrong.net, down that left-hand side, Chats with Emily, our playlist. Hopefully you worked through our set of introductory comments where we talked about the very convoluted history of Emily and her lovers, if we can call it that, or her pals, okay, call them pals. I'm hopeful as well that you've worked through the preceding poems. We just finished with 567, He Gave Away His Life. Now I want you to notice, in one way, this poem is simply straightforward. Only we're going to ask, is it? And I also want you to notice the voice of almost childlike, can I say almost Juliet-like? You will remember in Romeo and Juliet, Romeo walks up to Juliet and asks her for a kiss, and she allows it ultimately, and when it finally happens, you'll remember that she says to him, you kissed by the book. Now it is interesting, and I think there's some of that standing behind this poem. Let's see how you read it. We learned the whole of love, the alphabet, the words, a chapter, then the mighty book, then Revelation closed. But in each other's eyes an ignorance beheld, diviner than the childhoods, and each to each a child, attempted to expound what neither understood. Alas, that wisdom is so large, and truth so manifold. Now, again, notice the idea of learning the whole of love, the completeness of love. And of course, when you're young, you think you understand everything about love. Again, back to Romeo and Juliet. Notice how it works. Well, how'd you learn to read? Well, you started first with the alphabet, right? Then from there you went to words, notice the progression, then the chapters, then the mighty book. Notice we go from whole to mighty. Then Revelation closed. Now, the word closed is interesting. Are we saying you only learn so much about love, and then it's done, and then it's over, and you can't learn anymore? And notice we're not quite clear. Is she speaking about pal love, or is she speaking about sexual love? It isn't clear to us at all. Of course, again, the line from Romeo and Juliet, you kissed by the book, comes back to mind. Notice the word but then. But in each other's eyes an ignorance beheld. In other words, we were having this experience thinking it was love and thinking we understood the totality of love, but there was something of ignorance, dare we say it, naivety, maybe we might say, right? That idea that we're not totally sure about this thing called love so much, right? An ignorance beheld diviner than the childhoods, and each to each a child. Is it true? I mean, you guys can think about this. Is it true that when you fall in love, you have this strange tendency to become increasingly childlike? Now, what is that about? Like, why is it that really sober people, when they fall in love, have this tendency to do really wacky, weird stuff, and to act weird, behave weird, talk weird? Love has this tendency to turn us into children in some strange way. Why? Because love expresses a certain kind of vulnerability that is often rooted in trust. Whether it's merited or not, we want to trust the person we think we are in love with, right? Notice, and each to each a child, dash, attempted to expound, but neither understood. Some have said the translinguistic nature of love. In the end, you can't explain what love feels like. You just know you feel it. You can attempt, like all poets have, to capture in words what that experience is. But she says, it's kind of like wisdom, and it's kind of like truth. It's way, way too big, too large, or too manifold. And all you can end up with is the word, alas, which is kind of like a sigh of a kind. There's nothing else to be said. And I think that's the point at 3a. Love is complicated, right? The longer we try and understand it, the more difficult it is. I love the dissonance of the rhymes in this one. I also love all those poetic echoes, right, in this one. Notice, learned, whole, love, chapter, each, childhoods, each child. They give a certain kind of coherence with, as one scholar has said it, an interest of its own, kind of like love. At 3a, well, we read a poem like this, we think of Shakespeare, obviously Romeo and Juliet we mentioned. How about sonnet 116, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments, love is not love, which alters when an alteration finds or bends with the remover to remove. The idea, of course, is also expressed powerfully in John Donne's valediction, forbidding mourning. We've given full lectures on all of these at learnstrong.net. Finally, at 3b, when was a time in your life that you tried to understand love, if not experience it? And you have to admit, it kind of turned you into a kid. Can we even say a stupid kid? Thank you.